your planning podcast, where we highlight developmental initiatives in Guyana, navigate land misuse, and explore potential solutions. I am Sandra Lindbergh, your host and planning coach. Today we have some special guests joining us here on Urban Pulse GY, and it's a pleasure to welcome them as they take part in this exciting planning quiz. Today we've gathered not only to test their knowledge, but explore the profound role we all play in shaping development that is poised to build sustainable communities and a better Guyana. Truly, there's no better way to start than with the involvement of our youth, the foundation and future of any generation and nation. If we lay the foundation now through education and youth participation, just imagine what Guyana's future would look like. Again, thanks to the two sponsors for the kind gesture. Special thanks to the pastor and leadership of the Buxton SDA Church for allowing us to use their venue. To the parents of the participants, a very, very big thank you to you also. To date, Urban Pulse has completed 7 episodes. Together we explore the theoretical and historical foundations of urban and regional planning here in Guyana. Hence, our quiz today will be based on those completed episodes. Without further ado, meet our participants. Kindly tell us a little about yourself.
Good evening, my name is Teresa Barnett and I attend St. Stanislaus College. I am 12 years old, but I do not know what I plan to do in the future, but I pray I will be successful.
That is fine.
Good evening, my name is Shanacy Holloway. I attend Bishop High School. I'm 13 years old, and in the future I would like to be a neurosurgeon.
Thank you very much, Nancy.
Good evening, I'm Thierry Barnett. I am 12 years old and I don't know what I want to become in the future, but I hope that God will make something happen in my life.
Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Julia Tweaks and I am 12 years old and I attend Acton Senior School. And I do not know what I would want to be, but I know that everything I'm doing is good and God is in the right path.
Thank you.
I am Soren here. I attend the Bishop's High School. I am 12 years of age and I would like to be a businesswoman when I grow up.
Thank you very much. And we are happy that all of you would have accepted to be a part of our quiz today. And let me assure you, regardless of the profession you take up when you get older, all of them can play a critical role in urban planning, in planning for your communities. Because urban planning is an interdisciplinary field, right? So whatever you do can play a part in urban planning. So are you ready for the quiz?
Yes.
So let's get right to it. I'd like to start with Tarika. I'd like to start by asking, what is urban planning? A, the process of designing buildings. B, the process of planning how land is used in urban and rural areas. C, the study of animal habitats. And D, the design of video games.
B, the process of planning how land is used in urban and rural areas.
Very well. Thank you very much. Our second question will go to Shanacy. Shanacy, an urban planning professional is called A, an urban planner, B, a city engineer, C, a town councillor, or D, an architect.
A, an urban planner.
Very well. Persons working in the field of urban planning, they are called urban planners. Thierry, we all know urban planning seeks to address several issues with the aim of improving community life. So, which of the following is not a goal of urban planning? A. To ensure community development initiatives are sustainable. B. To reduce pollution and traffic congestion. C. To advocate for affordable housing. And D. None of the above.
D, none of the above.
Yes, none of the above is the correct answer because we know urban planning is about community development initiatives being sustainable, reducing pollution, and all of the above. Julietta, have you ever heard of the term infrastructure? In the discipline of urban and regional planning, what does infrastructure refer to? A. Buildings only. B. Roads, bridges, water supply systems, etc. C. Parks only. D. Public art installations.
D.
Very well. Thank you very much. Urban planning is concerned with where people live, work, and play. Many people are seeking to achieve housing security, and affordable housing is the solution. What does affordable housing mean? Soleil. A. Housing that costs less than market value. B. Housing that is free. C. Housing that is available only to wealthy individuals. And D. Housing that has no restrictions.
Housing that costs less than market value.
Thank you very much. Our sixth question, and that goes back to Tarika. Do you know anyone who has a kitchen garden? Then which of the statements best represents the benefits of a community garden to neighborhoods? A. They take up too much space. B. They provide food, beauty, and community engagement. C. They attract pests. D. They require too much time and maintenance.
D, they provide beauty, food, and community engagement.
Very well. Shanacy, which organization often help cities plan their development? A. The United Nations. B. The World Health Organization. C. The International Monetary Fund. And D. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration.
D, the United Nations.
Very well. The United Nations often helps cities with planning their developmental initiatives. Gary, the United Nations has placed significant importance in ensuring that countries take steps to guarantee better urban and rural communities. So, what is a term that is used for cities that has been designed to be environmentally friendly? A sustainable city. B, an urban city. C, a metropolis. Or D, an environmental city.
E, a sustainable city.
Very well. Thank you very much. Juliet, your question. We know there are many towns in Guyana. Which town is known as the capital of Guyana? Thank you very much. As you see, she didn't need an option. Indeed, Georgetown is Guyana's capital. Number 10. So then this is your question. We learned that human settlements can be classified by its type, size, form, and function. So, do you know which is the primary function of a settlement? A, commercial. B, industrial. C, agricultural. Or D, residential. Indeed, the primary function of settlement is to provide residential services. And we come back to Tarika. Which function is best suited for dispersed settlement? as it takes advantage of the availability of large land space in rural areas. A. Commercial, industrial, agricultural, or D. Residential.
See, agriculture.
Definitely, because we know with this first settlement, there is a house and there is lots of land for the inhabitants to perform agricultural activities. Indeed. Number 12, Shanesi. Guyana is among the world's 10 least populated nations. Do you know what percentage of Guyana's population resides in urban areas as against rural areas? A. Urban 27.3% and rural 72.7%. B. Urban 40%, rural 60%. C. Urban 70% and rural 30%. Or D. Urban 72% and rural 27.3%. Definitely. In Guyana, majority of our population reside in urban areas. Thank you very much. Thierry, which type of building is typically found in commercial zones? A. Schools. B. Factories. C. Stores and offices. And D. Houses.
C. Stores and offices.
Very well. Julieta, what does sustainable development mean in urban planning? Sustainable development in urban planning. A. Building as many structures as possible without concern for the environment. B. Developing areas that meet present needs without compromising future generations' ability to meet their own. C. Only focuses on environmental growth. And D. Ignoring environmental impacts. Which one? Do you know? All right, Soleil. Which number?
Number 14.
Sorry, which letter?
B.
Definitely. Sustainable development, Julieta, is developing areas that meet present needs. Whenever we talk about sustainable development, we're talking about development or initiatives or projects that are embarked upon to meet our current needs, but it doesn't affect future needs, right? Generations to come must still be able to benefit, okay? All right. Let's go to what kind of infrastructure includes roads, bridges, and tunnels? A. Social infrastructure. B. Transportation infrastructure. C. Economic infrastructure. Or D. Environmental infrastructure. Very well. Transportation infrastructure would consider bridges, roads, tunnels, rails, and all of those. Stormwater is referred to as excess water from rain or melting snow that flows over land instead of soaking into the ground. So which city feature helps to manage storm runoff? A. Sidewalks. B. Green roof, which is really roof that is covered with vegetation, right? C. Skyscrapers. And D. Parking lots. A. Sidewalk. That's incorrect. Would you like to try? Yes.
B. Green.
Yes. Remember, storm water is the excess water from rain or water that would melt from the snow. And instead of them running into the ground, it's like to find some other thing to do with this water. So in this case, with the green roof, we plant vegetation on our roof so so that at least the plants can benefit from the excess water, right? So the answer is green roof. Very well. Julieta, do you know there are 3 types of human settlements? So, in which type of settlement area would you find hamlet, isolated dwelling, or villages? A, urban, B, rural, C, suburban, or all of the above? B, rural. Very well. Like us here in our community, we live in a village, right? And it's a rural community. Thank you very much. Soleil, urban planning professionals focuses on several critical planning areas to ensure communities are safe and sustainable. So, which aspect of urban planning focuses on improving public health? A, transportation planning, environmental planning, B, C, health impact assessment, and D, economic development.
C, impact assessment.
Definitely. Yes? Urban planning is interested in the efficient use of land. There's a concept in urban planning that is called mixed use. What do you think is a good example of mixed use development? A, an office building only. Remember, we're talking about mixed use, right? An office building only, residential apartments above shops, parking only, or factories only. Definitely. That's correct. Why are sidewalks important in urban areas? A, they provide parking for vehicle users. They provide safe walking path for pedestrians. They provide a safe place for bikers to ride. And D, they are only for decorative purposes. To walk, right? I know sometimes we see persons riding, where we should be walking, and that should not happen, okay? Gary? We know that urban planning pulls resources from other equally important disciplines, like history and geography, civil engineering, history, architecture. So, what role do architects play in urban planning? A, designing buildings that fit within the community's needs. B, managing city budgets. C, enforcing laws. And D, conducting traffic studies.
B,
Design, yes,
designing buildings that fit within community
needs. Very well. Julieta, what type of energy source is encouraged in sustainable urban development? What type of energy source is encouraged in sustainable urban development? A, fossil fuel, renewable energy sources like solar and wind, nuclear energy, C, and D, none of the above. Which one? I can't hear. None of the above. That's not correct. Soleil, which type of energy source is encouraged in sustainable urban development? Fossil fuel, renewable energy sources like solar and wind, nuclear energy, or none of the above? Yes. So when we talk about sustainable urban development, we're talking about the use of energy like solar energy and wind energy, right? Our world is moving away from the use of fossil fuel, right? So renewable energy sources, those are encouraged. Lesson 23. We talked about settlement classification. So, which settlement classification considers how buildings are arranged? So we know some buildings might be clustered together while others are dispersed, and others may be along like roads and rivers. So A, size, B, forms, C, functions, or D, types.
B, form.
Definitely. The settlement classification that looks at how buildings are arranged is forms of settlement. Shanesi, who were the first people to settle in Guyana? A, the Dutch, B, the Amerindians, C, the British, or D, the Spanish?
B, the Amerindian.
The Amerindians. And we know they came from Siberia and from the interlands of the South America, right? Of South America. Where was Guyana's first capital located? A, Essequibo, B, Georgetown, C, Berbice, and D, Demerara.
B, Essequibo.
Definitely. Thank you. Julieta, in 1492, the Spanish kingdom began expanding their territories through exploration and colonization. Which countries did Columbus discover on his voyages to this part of the world? A, Jamaica and Haiti, B, Cuba and Jamaica, C, Dominican Republic and Cuba, D, all of the above.
D, all of the above.
Definitely. Solane, Guyana's Essequibo has a total of 365 islands. On which island in the Essequibo was the Dutch capital, Zeelandia, located? A, Flag Island, B, Vietnam, C, Hog Island, and D, none of the above. Flag Island. I noticed you were about to give us the answer even before I would have given the options. But just for clarity, we know Flag Island is where Zeelandia was located. Back then, it was later named Fort Island, right? So it's the same island. Tarika, once the Dutch planters had relocated to the fertile banks of the Essequibo, they constructed Fort Zeelandia on Flag Island. In which year was Zeelandia christened the capital of Essequibo? A, 1740, B, 1743, C, 1749, or D, none of the above?
C, 17,000.
Indeed. Shanesi, when tension arose between Spain and Portugal over who should be allowed to explore which part of the world, Pope, whatever is his name, intervened to settle the dispute. What was the name of the Pope that issued the papal bull or that authoritative decree that granted Spain rights to lands west of a section of Brazil? A, Pope Alexander VI, B, Pope Alexander V, C, Pope John Paul, or D, Pope Francis?
A, Pope Alexander VI.
Yes, Pope Alexander VI would have issued that decree that says Spain, you can explore all the lands to the west, while Portugal, all the others to the east of Brazil. All right. In recent years, Guyana has undergone significant development. Which prominent figure in Guyana's government holds a doctoral degree in urban and regional planning. A. The Honorable Minister Colin Crowe from the Housing and Water Ministry. B. His Excellency President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali. C. The Honorable Minister Sonia Paraj from the Local Government and Development Ministry. Or D. The Honorable Minister Priya Manikchak from the Ministry of Education.
President Dr. Irfan.
I can hear you.
His Excellency President Dr. Irfan.
Indeed. All right, so we have one more aspect for our quiz. And I'd like you to take a minute and just think about it before you respond. If you were an urban or regional planner, what issues in your community would you seek to address and why? Right? Take a minute and think about it. You're an urban planner. Assess your community. What issue would you seek to address and why? Who would like to start? Yes.
I would advocate more recreational centers in my community. So
I didn't hear
that
that. Could you speak up?
I would advocate more recreational centers in my community so that people could be more physically engaged in activities to build their health so that when stuff happens in the community later on, if stuff happens in the community later on, that people will be able to rise up and deal with those occasions. And one of the first pieces of the recreational center I would probably build is like a park so that people could relax from whatever they've been doing in the center and then go back later on in the
Definitely. So your community would benefit if we have a recreational center and maybe a park where persons can go to relax and take a break. All right. Anyone else? Yes.
So I would organize a cleanup for the drains and trenches in my community because oftentimes people dispose their waste and they make the water stagnant, which causes the area to smell and it also makes the place look displeasing. So I would organize a cleanup and gather whoever I could gather, villagers, whoever, to come and clean up the trenches so that they could see how the place would look if it was clean and they may stop throwing their food.
Okay, so your project would be to reduce like the dumping of garbage in drains and all of that. All right, thank you. Yes.
For me, my project would be planting and the replanting of trees because one, it would help with the air pollution, but the factories would release polluted gases into the atmosphere that cause the air pollution, and it also helps with the oxygen and the detoxification.
Yes.
For me personally, I would give a suggestion that each family plant a tree in their yard, and it would help with the detoxification, and they could have more trees planted in parks along the roadside and
All right, that sounds like a really nice initiative. And as you would have mentioned, imagine if every yard somebody plants a tree, right? And as Shanacy would have rightfully said, that would significantly enhance our atmosphere, right? With oxygen and all of that. So that's a very great initiative. All the others that I heard are really brilliant initiatives. All right, Julieta, you have one.
I would go for roads.
A road safety project. Yes.
Because
And speak correctly. All right, Julieta, what would be your project?
I would go for road safety projects because it reduces accidents and fostering culture.
safety culture.
Yeah, safety culture, and safe driving. And
All right. So in your project, what is there anything specific you would do, like painting of pedestrian?
yeah, I would do painting of pedestrians and stop signs.
Stop signs. Yes. That is another, I think, very important project to embark on because we know in Guyana there's a culture of speeding and there's lots of accidents. And such a project indeed would make our community a safer place, especially for our children on their way to school. Solange, do you have a project in mind?
For me, it would be the organizing of cleaning of the trenches and drains regularly. Because sometimes the trenches are clogged, and if the rain falls, then it could flood the area easily.
Yes.
And sometimes we deep overgrown in the trenches, and the water would be stagnant, which creates a breeding site for mosquitoes,
Those, yes.
which could carry diseases. So I would gather some of the village, the person from the village, and have a cleaning campaign of the trenches. So I would clean the trenches once a month.
Wow. Very nice. And I know for us here in Guyana, we know the May, June period, this period that we're currently in, April, May, June period, we will have lots of rain. And I think a project like that indeed would be useful, the clearing of the trenches, which would reduce flooding. I can tell you, my friends, all of the projects identified, the tree planting, the recreational area, traffic signals, what was yours again? The cleaning of the trenches. Yours was the cleaning of trenches too. All of these, I do hope our community leaders are listening, because these ideas indeed can be impactful and helpful in making our communities safer and more resilient. I am so happy. This has brought us to the end of our quiz. I am so happy that each and every one of you would have taken the time out to, one, accept our invitation. And I know your presence here would be an inspiration to students and adults alike in helping us to understand that each and every one of us plays a significant role when it comes to our community development. So thank you very much. This has brought us to the end of our quiz, and we are grateful for your participation. And to show we appreciate your effort here today, we are going to be presenting to you a school supplies hamper, compliments of M&R Printery, located at Lot 132 Grosvenor Street, Friendship. And also, we receive sponsorship also from a local and loyal supporter of the Urban House. In closing, engaging young people in urban planning fosters a sense of ownership and responsibility towards the community. Their involvement leads to more active participation in community decisions, ultimately shaping the future of their towns and villages in ways that reflect their needs and their aspirations. Additionally, their involvement in the planning process equips them with the knowledge that is needed to advocate for resilient communities. As Guyanese, we stand at a pivotal junction in relation to our economic, social, and environmental development. And it is imperative that we recognize the significance of urban and regional planning. And the best place to start is with our young people, our youth population, as they are our future. At Urban caused you why. Our hope is that the quiz has ignited your curiosity about planning and development in your communities and about the role you can play. So if you've enjoyed our program, remember to like, share, follow, and subscribe to our content on Facebook and YouTube. As together we build sustainable communities and a better